This is one that I call Soleil couché, which means sunset. And it's a scene from my hometown in Port of Dominica with the fishermen at dusk coming in. And this is a similar one. You'll notice that same mountain, although I've altered it a bit to show the fishermen coming in the boats. There are quite a lot of boats moored in that harbor. At one time, as a child, I would go and sit on the seawall and just observe the sun going down below the horizon. In fact, one day that I can quite well remember was the day that President Kennedy was shot. That was the most unusual sunset I had ever seen, 1963. So the Twilight scene is one that you'll find quite a lot in many of my paintings. Here I have what I call Quest for Identity with the Afro. In the 1960s, early 70s, we were so up about our Afros and creating identity. This one I call Approbation of Rasta Picnic. How do you call it? Bongo Natti, this one, because I virtually grew up on calypso and reggae music. So you see the Rasta baby and the two Rasta women and the Aisha living of the land. So it's Approbation of Rasta Picnic, Bongo Natti. This one I call Chakra Equation, because our African ancestors were treated as chakra, objects to be bought and sold. So I use these objects to create the human form, and that's why I call it Chakra Equation, equating our ancestors to chakra objects. That is the main theme of my work. Here I have the melancholic bouquet. It's a vase of flowers, as one can see, and through the window you see this guy looking in. And again, it's the same boats in the harbor, the same mountain that you find in this one. And it's like this lady has been deceived by the guy who was looking in. Here's another one. These two have the same title, and it is In the Land of the Free, I Was chattel. Because in 17th, and that's based on Sally Hemings. I don't know if you ever heard of Sally Hemings, who was Jefferson's concubine. She was actually the half sister of his wife, his late wife. And again, I'm using objects to create the human form, because that's how the slave master perceived our ancestors, as chattel objects. Yet you see the humanity. The humanity is inescapable. So these two have the same title. In the Land of the Free, I Was chattel. Here I use the African American flag, red, in the same design as the American flag. And in the background you have the colors of the American flag. But instead of the stars, I use chains. Chains to represent in these two paintings, there are minute symbols, prurient symbols, because of Jefferson's misuse of Sally Hemings. And so you see the human form, but she's made up of chattel. This one is based on Carnival. It's last lap Carnival Tuesday in the Caribbean, especially Trinidad. Another aspect of my work is I'm very fond of European art. So I look at old master paintings and I try to transform them into an alternative reality. So this is based on Vermeer's Girl with the Pearl Earring. Recently there was a movie made based on a book that an author wrote about that painting, about the Vermeer painting. Nobody knew who the girl was, so she wrote a story, a fictitious story about who she thinks the girl might have been. So what she was doing, creating a fictitious story, I try to show that I can see an alternative reality within the image of Vermeer's girl. Yep. You're a good fit to your girl.